That's not.
So many different ways to get into it.
No.
Congressman Hochbrooker, can you lead us off in the Pledge of Allegiance? I call the meeting to order. Please stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, George. Pastor Halpin.
Hey, would you please remain standing as we pray together this morning? Father God, we come before you, and I thank you for the men and women in this room and for their care for this town. Lord, we ask that you continue to guide and direct our councilmen and women, our supervisor, everyone that has an absolute obligation to love this town as much as those who live within its borders. We ask that you protect those who protect and serve it, those who go out in the middle of the night to continue to serve in dangers and perils that they face that no one will completely understand. We ask your protection upon them and upon their family. Thank you for the minds that are in this room and the intellect that continues to guide and direct this town. I ask today that their wisdom be on their lips and that your wisdom be in their hearts and in their soul. Lord, I also ask that the reporters and the men and women in this room be true to themselves and to this place, and may their pens flow with truth and grace, and may they continue to build this community as they have for years and continue to encourage growth. And as your servant Jabez prayed, may you expand our territory. May you allow Riverhead to not grow in size of land, but in size of heart and growth as you have through the years. And may this continued community show the world what true community means in love and grace. Once again, Lord, guide and direct our leaders, and may we support them and encourage them, and at times admonish them. In your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pastor Halpin, go through a Christian church. I think the press is in charge of admonishment sometimes. So, Carol, Dawn, we're going to go up for autism. You're going to bring Anthony and your other grandchild, which I don't remember his name.
Okay, so yeah, our first resolution is
234 or something.
yeah. So you want to go 17,
So
234.
it is Autism Awareness Month, and we're going to recognize that, whereas autism is not a single disorder that affects everyone the same way, but a spectrum of disorders reflecting the wide variation of unique challenges, strengths, and differences possessed by each person with autism. There is not one autism, but many types. And whereas autism or autism spectrum disorder, ASD, is a complex developmental disability that affects 1 in 68 children in the United States, which includes 1 in 42 boys and 1 in 189 girls. And whereas ASD refers to a range of symptoms and conditions characterized by challenges with repetitive behaviors, social skills, speech, and nonverbal communication, which can result in significant lifelong impairment of an individual's ability to learn and have a healthy interactive behaviors. And whereas certain medical and mental health issues frequently accompany autism, including GI disorders, seizures, sleepless disturbances, attention deficit disorder, and hyperactivity disorder, anxiety, allergies, and phobias. And whereas there is currently no single identifiable cause or cure for autism, however, research suggests that autism develops from a combination of genetic and non-genetic or environmental influences. And whereas individuals with autism often require a lifetime of specialized and community support for services to ensure their health and safety and support families' resilience as they manage to their psychological and financial burdens autism can present. Let it be known that with proper education, training, and community support, individuals with autism lead distinguished, productive lives and strive to reach the fullest potential. And furthermore, we salute Autism Speaks for spearheading awareness efforts to educate parents, professionals, and the general public about autism and its effects on families and community. We honor advocates and all who work to build brighter tomorrows for those lives that have been touched by autism. Now therefore be proclaimed, I, Sean Walter, along with the town board, do hereby proclaim the month of April as Autism Awareness Month. Anthony, I have something for you. Do you want to take that?
Say thank you.
Oh, he wants one too. Well, maybe we give. Well, Dawn, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anthony, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day. You know,
Have a
you
good
can see
day.
yourself on TV now. Just let them.
Yeah. I think he's saying before we go on.
All right, bring the dog in. Here come the dogs. Dog. Well, we have a pooch. Jim, what do we have?
We have Bonnie. This is Bonnie. Bonnie was found running in downtown Riverhead on February 24th. She was thin and had a lot of fleas, which caused her skin problems. That's all behind her now. And our Bonnie is back to her beautiful self. The girl is very social and loves every person she meets. Bonnie can be a little selective about dogs, but she feels comfortable with. She's playful, but is not over the top with her energy level, but is true joy and is just that full of fun. Bonnie's the perfect size, not too big, not too small, and will make a wonderful addition to some lucky family. Come meet her at the Riverhead Animal Shelter and fall in love with this petite cutie pie. And of course, the animal shelter is 631-369-6189 in Riverhead.
Petite cutie pie.
Petite cutie pie. And I didn't write it, I only read it. So.
Well, folks, this is Bonnie, and hopefully there's somebody. If you come over to the opening here, they'll get a better
Steve, you need a running
picture.
partner.
So maybe there'll be somebody either on camera or in the audience. You got Professor DeLuca. You got any kids back there that want a dog? Because we could set that up right now.
Oh, look at how playful this
Right
is.
now. Well, this is Bonnie, folks. Hopefully we'll find somebody. All right, thank you very much. Take care.
Bonnie is a man. Oh, woman.
Bye, Bonnie.
That's a toy. Your manga book.
Here you go. You can have it.
What she said
Bonnie
was something for Bonnie.
McRabbit.
So, Professor DeLuca, why are you here today? Where'd you go? Why are you here today? Who's going to speak on behalf of your class to tell us what a great professor you are? Come on, come on up. How you ever gonna do public presentations? Come on up. We insist. What's her name? Come on. You gotta go over here. We'll let her think about it. We're gonna cut to song right now. We're gonna cut into song. So Harriet Haas, why don't you come on up? I understand you've prepared some special favorites for us.
The dog almost took my money.
Before Harry begins, I have something in reference to the dog.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Warren McKnight of Riverhead. Why did the dog cross the road?
I don't know.
To get to the barking lot. Barking? Woof woof.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe somebody will adopt, you know.
It doesn't get any better than that. And that's the truth.
That's a rough joke.
Well,
All right.
somebody better get the dog before she gets my bag.
Harriet, what do you have for us?
We have 3 very short songs, less than a minute each song. We got 3 short songs for the doggy and the bunny. Oh, did the children leave? Oh, they left. Oh, I wanted them to hear the song. Okay. I see a cute doggy at the town hall. Woof, woof. The one with the waggly tail. I see a cute doggy at the town hall. Woof, woof. I hope he's adopted without fail. It is a boy dog? Oh. Well, you're a girl dog, you're not a boy dog. I hope she's adopted without fail. If you can adopt this doggy, woof woof, just call the animal shelter. This cute doggy really, really needs you to love him and pet him as such. And if you are able to adopt him, he'll thank you so very, very, very much. He will.
It's a little sibling rivalry.
I got a song for you. You stay here. I got a song especially for you with a bunny. See? Here comes Peter Cottontail. No! Oh, you want it already? Hopping down the bunny trail. Hippity hoppity, Easter's on its way. Are you gonna fight? Bring it, every girl and boy. Baskets full of Easter joy. Things to make your Easter bright and gay. He's got jelly beans, you know. He's got jelly beans for Tommy, and he's got colored eggs for Sister Sue. There's an orchid for your mommy, and an Easter bonnet too. Oh, here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the bunny trail. Hippity hoppity, happy Easter day. Here comes Peter Cottontail, hippity hoppity, happy Easter day. Hey! You see, maybe if you're extra good, he'll get you some Easter eggs, maybe. See? And then the grown-up.
I wish you could see his face.
See, this last one is for the grown-up.
Forget the new camera, you won't be able
In
to.
your Easter bonnet, with all the frills upon it, you'll be the grandest lady in the Easter parade. Oh, I'll be all in clover, and when they look you over, I'll be the proudest fellow in the Easter parade. On the avenue, la-da-da-da-da-da, Fifth Avenue, la-da-da-da-da-da, the photographers will snap us, and you'll find that you're in the photograph. Your bride could write a sonnet about your Easter bonnet, and of the girl I'm taking to the Easter parade. And I could also write a sonnet about your handsome hair. Look at your nice face. What do you got in there? What is that, water?
Yeah.
Or it's an empty thing there? Oh, they're so cute.
Harriet, thank you very much.
I just wanted to say one thing in case you didn't get the message. I had called up a few weeks ago, Sean, and I congratulated you on not calling Bruce Trier anymore.
That's true, you did do that.
You don't have to listen to all that stuff anymore, to him saying all those. I mean, he does that with everybody, but he's been doing that for 20 years. But he'll always find something wrong. Every day he finds a new thing wrong. If it isn't wrong, he finds a way to have it wrong. So it's always wrong. So
I agree with you,
I
Harriet, and thank
enjoyed
you.
listening to your speech on television, the
State of the town.
State of the Town address.
Thank you,
Well,
Harriet.
thank you, Harriet,
Everybody
very
had a
much.
good meeting.
Lauren, thank you.
Lauren, take it
Yeah,
easy.
Professor DeLuca, do we have somebody gonna come up? All right, thank you, Harriet. So, Professor, what Easter songs is she singing?
Hello everyone. We
We are here from Professor DeLuca's Codes and Regulations course in Farmingdale State College, and we are here to learn more about the town board and the hearing process. And I guess thank you for having us.
What do you think of it so far? You think other town boards have such lively entertainment?
I haven't seen much, so.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank
How's
you.
DeLuca? Is he a decent professor?
Very, very, yes.
Good.
Good
She
answer.
gets an A.
Good answer.
Thank you very much.
An A plus.
She
All right,
gets an A.
Larry, I think we're still getting feedback, so I don't know where you are, but he's in the DJ booth. Okay, so,
I'd like to make a motion.
John, make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes of the March 21st meeting, 2017. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
John Levy,
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
The minutes are approved. Under correspondence, on the agenda, we have a letter from the Long Island Pine Barren Society opposing the granting of a special permit for the installation of a fuel cell power plant at the United Riverhead Terminal in Northville. A letter from Eugene Laferno expressing his issue of grievance to the town regarding the town's involvement associated to the construction and demolition of an additional structure to his home at 162 Founder's Path, Bating Hollow. Under reports, tax receiver, total tax collection to date as of March 29th, $79,960,485.94. Town clerk monthly report for March, $11,634.01. Building department March monthly report, $209,125.18. The sewer district submitted their discharge monitoring report for February. And the Riverhead IDA and the Riverhead IDA Economic Job Development Corporation submitted annual audited financial report and financial statements.
All right, are there any other committee reports? Town board reports?
No, we've got the townwide cleanup on the 29th, but I'll give one to the next meeting.
Okay, anybody else?
Oh, I met with the Navy this morning at the Grumman property for the recreation trail on the property that the Navy still owns. And the Navy expects that they'll have the easement to us within the next couple of weeks where we can use the Navy property for the trail also. So that's very exciting news.
Good. All right, if there's no other committee reports, we're gonna go right into public hearings. We have 3 public hearings. The first one was scheduled for 2:05. It is now 2:19. I open the public hearing for the consideration of a local law to amend Chapter 211, Beaches and Recreation of the Riverhead Town Code, Article 3, Use of Public Bathing Beaches, Recreation Centers and Facilities, Parks, Playgrounds, and Dog Parks. Bob, did you want to say something about this, or this is pretty?
It's pretty benign, yeah, I mean, I would agree.
There's several changes. Dogs shall not be allowed to be loose in public bathing areas. There's a lot of changes. Commercial boat launch permit shall not entitle the permit holder to park the truck in our beaches. Residents and non-residents must possess seasonal parking passes. That's about.
And then we're adding an exclusion that no animals shall be allowed on any public bathing beach under
Right.
21119.
Got it. So I think we pretty much covered it. Does anybody wish to be heard on this matter? Larry, I don't know why we're getting feedback, but the laptop isn't anywhere. I took my laptop away from it. Is it still feeding back?
No.
It just got better.
All right, well, I don't know how you're gonna fix that because, now we have these laptops, so they gotta go somewhere. So we're gonna close the public comment portion and we'll leave it open to written comment till April 14th, 4:30 in the town clerk's office. All right, we've got a second public hearing, and that was also scheduled for 2:05, and it is now 2:21. This is a consideration of a local law to amend Chapter 237 entitled Highways, Streets, Sidewalks of the Riverhead Town Code, Obstructions and Penalties for Offenses. And this is what we have found. We go out every year and after snowstorms, much to the chagrin of some of the property owners, and I think some other people don't think we write these tickets, but every year we go out and write these tickets, and we found when we write the tickets for snow removal, Some businesses pay the $250 ticket as probably a cost of doing business for snow removal. So we are upping the fines because it takes 2 code enforcement officers a half a week to write tickets just on Route 58 because there's so many property owners and potential violators. So we're upping the fine amounts for the first offense, not less than $250 but no more than $2,500. The second, not less than $750 but no more than $2,500. And the third, no less than $1,000 but not more than $2,500. So if we, the town, have to send code enforcement officers, 2 of them out for a half a week to write tickets, you're going to make it worth our while. It's not going to be a cost of doing business. So I open that public hearing. Does anybody wish to be heard on this? Yes, Mr. McKnight.
Warren McKnight, Riverhead. This would be a great opportunity for local companies who remove snow to be put on a list, and when code enforcement goes around, they can give them that list, and it would help the economy. It would make things safer also, and more picturesque and nice. That's my comment.
Thank you, sir. Does anybody else wish to be heard on this matter? All right, not seeing anybody, we're going to close the public comment portion, leave it open for written comment. Need to get to the April calendar, to April 14th, 4:30 in the town clerk's office. Thank you, folks. Moving right along, we have a third public hearing. I guess if I leave it to the right of that microphone, it's not so bad. Seems like it's not feeding back now. The third public hearing was scheduled for 2:15. It is now 2:23. This public hearing is a consideration of a local law to amend Chapter 263 entitled Rental Dwelling Units of the Riverhead Town Code. And this code section requires or enables the town to make managing agents as defined by this chapter, managing agent for renting. I'm butchering this.
What it does is it came out of the Code Enforcement Committee, and what it does is it allows the town to serve any managers of properties that are rental properties when they haven't come in and taken their rental permits. A lot of times property owners live out of state and you can't serve them out of state, so this will allow us to serve the manager of that property for whoever we can't reach.
Exactly what she said. All right, does anybody wish to be heard on this matter?
I'm Rosina Rugnetta DeMarco. I'm a homeowner on 36 Creek Road in Wading River, where these rental properties are happening. My understanding is that there's a little bit more to that than what is being discussed right now. My understanding is that this had to do with short-term rentals.
No, this is just gives us the ability to, some people have managing agents, and this gives us the ability to go after serve the managing agent in place of the landlord. It's not specific to short-term rentals.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Does anybody else wish to be heard on this matter? All right, not seeing anybody, we will close the public comment portion, leave it open for written comment until April 14th in the town clerk's office, 4:30. Now we move on to resolutions. Does anybody wish to be heard on resolutions? How you doing, Sal?
Sal Mastropolo, Calverton. Resolution 259.
All right, what is that? I have to hit, well, hold on.
Control F.
17.
Remove the F again. All right, and what is the,
17.
17.
0. And what was the resolution?
What's the resolution?
259.
259.
Reappoints member to the Architectural Review Board.
Yeah. The now therefore be it resolved, change the date to April 4th, 2020.
Oh.
It says, with a term set to expire April 4th, 2017. Which is today. Resolution 260, the same comment.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, so hold off on anything else. Peyton Lacombe, where are you? Peyton, what are you earning here today? Mom, you can come up too. So you can pull that microphone down if you want. Hey, wow, look at that. She's right on that thing. So Peyton, what are you here for, even though we really can't see you?
Girl Scout badge.
And what's the badge? How to be a town board member?
Go inside. Wait,
Citizenship.
what is it?
Citizenship badge?
Inside government.
Inside government. Oh, that's like Inside Edition. We're like Inside Edition.
Like inside circus.
Well, what do you think so far? Did you like the dog? And we had good singing, so that's good. Do you have that kind of stuff in your class? Do you have dogs in your class?
No.
So if you come work here, look, she's trying to get up. We gotta get a booth, a crate for you to stand on. Well, thank you for coming. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Enjoy the rest of the day. All right, on resolutions.
I have a question on the resolution for the CDA. Do I have to wait for that hearing to open, or can I?
No, we're doing resolutions now.
Okay. I just have a couple questions about the annual report.
Hold it. Could you say your name?
Sure. Laura Jen Smith from Laurel. I have the couple of questions I have is the Calverton Sewer District, the $7.5 million upgrade to the Calverton treatment plant. I guess there was a $5 million grant, a $1.3 million grant, a $776,000 grant, and a $125,000 grant. And I'm
All right.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, 476. So I'm just curious that's to upgrade to a tertiary system. Has that started? When will that be completed?
Right now, we're waiting for the DEC. We got the grants. We have the map and plan, basically, almost the design of the facility. That's how far we went. We submitted it to the DEC. We held our public hearing. You and I debated it during the public comment period for the budget. And we're waiting for the DEC or the EFC to approve our map and plan. We're ready to go.
And how will that be affected if the sale of Calverton goes through?
Won't be.
Of EPCAL?
It's going to be done either way.
It's going to be done either way,
Either way.
with the grant money?
Yep.
Okay. My other question is for the downtown, the Second Street Firehouse. I guess there was a $500,000 grant and a $200,000 I Love New York grant to create an agro-tourism center, and I'm just wondering what the status of that is. It's been a couple of years.
Chris, we're going to let you field that one.
I have one more question. if you
Okay,
want me to
ask the next
hold.
question. And then
And
we'll
my
let
next question is, I know that Luminati Aerospace got a $2 million in cash grants and a $5 million in tax incentive grants, and I'm just wondering if you can address what that is.
I'm going to let you address both, Chris.
And the one other question I had is for the grants. I'm assuming that they're recommended from the Community Development Agency, and I'm just wondering how those who you recommend, how they get vetted. Is there a townwide reach
do
out
it-
for
we do
business, or?
We do it here. People make applications. We talk. The town board discusses it, and then some cases we pass resolutions supporting them. Some cases we don't have to do that, but we do it at the table.
But I guess what is the procedure for outreach to businesses in the community for the grants?
I'll let Chris answer that.
Okay.
As far as the Agritourism Visitor Center, that was a project that was initiated by the Suffolk County Economic Development Office. Augie Ruckstashell had come up with the concept, and because we had the firehouse available at the time and it was a vacant building, it became the subject of the grant application. So we've been working with several groups that would operate the visitor center. It's been a complex project, so it's still in motion. And in fact, we were working with a eco-agro-tourism company that's a nonprofit that would like to go into the building that submitted for a USDA grant last week for the operational capacity to get into that building. So we're still trying to get additional funding for staffing, and it would be similar to some of the other I Love New York places with the kiosks, and it would direct people to different.
Can we get big blue signs like the governor puts everywhere?
No signs yet, but maybe we can get some wayfinding money through that. So, and then as far as how we work with different businesses, generally businesses or projects contact the CDA office, or they come through a different department. And because we do a lot of different types of grant activity, They end up speaking to our department, and then we try to assist their project in whatever capacity we can. Sometimes it's introductions to other businesses or networks in town, or finding spaces for them. When they're looking for grant applications, we usually work with them. So most of the time they do the majority of the grant writing, and we just review and edit if it's a private grant, or sometimes if it's run through the town, we'll work with the town board to bring a resolution to approve applying.
You're so modest because you do more than that. We actually find grants for people and then reach out to them and see, we think you're eligible for this, like you're doing with the National Grid one now. Do you want to take a look at this and bring them in? So we do both.
We try to get as much money into the town as possible to help the businesses, because more money helps them have a better bottom line, and then they're able to stay in business and create jobs.
So anybody that is interested, or any existing businesses or businesses that are coming town that want to propose a change to their business or their establishment, they can contact the CDA director, and she can help them to let them know if there's any grants out there available to them.
Yeah, and I'm also on the infrastructure work group for Empire State Development for the Long Island Regional Council. So as part of that role, they encourage us to get the word out about funding that's available, so that Long Island has a lot of really good projects that are presented to the state. So Illuminati was the second highest award on Long Island this year. It's a project that's a priority for the state, and EPCAL is a regional priority for the state as well. They've supported the infrastructure there. So the businesses that are out there and the businesses that are attracted to there are good subjects for grant applications.
Chris, is there a website that people can go to if they're looking for a particular grant that they can access themselves?
There's several different sources. There's federal grants, and most of the federal representatives have a grant link to all grant opportunities on their sites. New York State has the Long Island Regional Council, which talks about all the grants that are available through New York State. Suffolk County has their grants listed up in different departments, so if you go on their website and search, most of those will come up. And then there's several private foundations, like the Gardner Foundation that we've worked with in the past, that sometimes we know about those opportunities because we've had a relationship with them in the past.
For historical renovations, and I know you've worked very closely with the Landmarks Preservation Commission, and Richard Wines, if he knows of somebody that's looking to renovate a historic house and there's funding available from the Gardner's Foundation, that you can connect those two. So.
And Joe Majorana's had a lot of success with that project, and household hazardous waste and pump out boat projects, and we also
do pretty well for the size of our town. I know we have compiled at one point the number of the millions of dollars, but it's significant.
Yeah. Well, we may want to put those federal, county, and state links on the CDA page.
Sure, we could do that.
And people, if they're interested, they can either contact you or they can go on direct.
Yeah, and they can do their own research on grants.gov. We'll link to every single federal opportunity.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Laura, does that answer your question?
That's perfect, just everybody has access to it, so I think that's fantastic.
Anybody else wish to be heard on resolutions? All right, Diane, let's take up resolutions. Motion to close?
I'd like to close the town board meeting temporarily and open the community development agency meeting. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard?
Yes.
Giglio?
Yes.
Wooten?
Yes.
Dunleavy?
Yes.
Walter?
Yes.
And the CDA meeting is now open. Resolution number 6 accepts annual report and annual financial report for 2016.
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard?
Yes.
Giglio?
Thank you for doing such a thorough report. I know you spend a lot of your personal time outside of town hall working on this report as well, so thank you. And yes.
Thank you. Wooten?
Yes.
Dunleavy?
Yes.
Walter?
Yes.
That resolution is therefore duly declared adopted. Resolution number 7 authorizes the chairman to sign the letter of intent.
I'll move it.
Jody?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard?
Yes.
Giglio?
I just want to say that I am wishing Illuminati the best. We're just starting the vetting process now for the organization to buy the property. The core area of the Pine Barrens is not being sold. The runways are being restricted to make sure that we don't have passenger airplanes coming in and out. The bicycle path is on course, and we're scheduling and putting all the information together for the qualified and eligible. So Anybody that has questions about Illuminati, they should send us emails, what their questions might be, so that we can ask those questions.
Send them to the clerk.
At the qualified and eligible, send them to the clerk will send them to the town board, and we can make sure we ask the questions that need to be asked, and to make sure that your concerns are addressed also. So please be sure to participate in that process. Yes?
Okay. Wooten,
Absolutely.
Dunleavy,
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Congratulations. The resolution is therefore duly declared adopted, and that completes the business of the CDA.
I make a motion that we close the Community Development Agency meeting and reopen the town board meeting. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy,
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
The town board meeting is now reopened. Resolution 214.
214 is Georgia Green Ventures LLC, McDermott Avenue Water Main Extension Water District Capital Project. It's a budget adoption, so moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 215.
Capital project number 20045, Pro Healthcare 21st Century Oncology, budget adoption. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 216.
Appoints temporary secretary to the Board of Assessment Review. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 217.
Approves agricultural worker housing, McCall,
Gabrielson.
Gableson.
How soon will we forget?
Gableson, pursuant to chapter 301-239. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 218.
Authorizes the town clerk to publish and post notice for a public hearing for a special permit for Jeffrey Nazar expansion of a non-conforming professional office use. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 219.
Authorizes execution of contract with Seed Clam Administrator. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 220.
Approves the attendance of 2 police department employees to the Marine Patrol Vessel Operation Course. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 221.
Increases hourly rate of detention. Hourly rate should be a pay of detention attendance. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded as amended. Can we add that in there? It should say increases hourly rate of pay for detention attendance. Moved and seconded as amended.
Okay. Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
I'm gonna vote yes. This is saving the town money because our attendants are leaving us because we don't pay them that much money to sit down in our cell and watch our prisoners. And we have to put a police officer on overtime down there. And these people are getting paid very less money than a police officer, so we're saving money for the town of Riverhead. I vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 222.
It accepts the retirement of a water treatment plant operator 2B. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 223.
Accepts the resignations of detention attendants. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Did we let them know what their new rate of pay is before they resigned? Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
And this is why we have to raise it. We lost about 8 attendants because of our pay. If anybody out there wants to be an attendant, get in touch with the police department and get your name on the list. And what they do, they call you when we have prisoners, and they rotate the list. So, I would call if I want to be one. Anybody out there would like to be one? I vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 224.
Accepts the resignation of a bingo inspector. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes, and there is an opening, so if anybody's interested,
Yes.
let us know.
You won't get called at 3 in the morning to go do
There's an
bingo, that's for
opening.
sure.
Resolution adopted.
We have we only have one bingo that they have to inspect.
Two.
Two bingos.
St. Isidore's and.
St. Isidore's and the Moose.
Resolution 225.
Okay. 225, appoints a principal clerk, but I want to make a change in the verbiage. Be it forever resolved, resolved before that one. The last line, it should be step P of the CSEA, clerical and supervisory salary schedule.
So not operational and
That's
technical
the,
salary.
yes, that's the way it should
Okay.
read.
And you have that new
So
one?
I'm
Yes,
gonna
we
put
do.
that
Thank you.
as amended.
Okay,
All right, so instead of that, what is it?
It's here,
clerical,
Clerical staff?
okay?
you're actually amending it?
No, I'm just pretending.
You
I was gonna say,
though.
can you write on this screen?
Yes, you can.
You can?
Yes.
I can.
Yes.
Well, I'm trying.
I'll second it as
Moved and seconded as amended.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
I wouldn't dare try to write on the screen, then they would probably shut off and.
Yeah, we told
Resolution
them to.
226.
226 reappoints a provisional assistant water district superintendent, type 1B treatment facility. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 227.
Reassigns the salary of the payroll supervisors.
They weren't there, they put it on the wrong, they put it in the
Wrong
wrong group.
Yeah, wrong group.
It had to be in group 6, according to the contract, we had it in group 5.
Right.
So the union forced us to put it in group 6, because that's part of the contract. We actually went through this with our attorney, and we don't have any choice.
Yeah, where it belongs anyway.
So that's why.
Okay, so resolution 227 reassigns the salary of the payroll supervisor. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 228.
Appoints a provisional wastewater treatment plant operator, 2A. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 229.
229, appoints a provisional wastewater treatment plant operator, 2A. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 230.
This appoints a water treatment plant operator trainee. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 231.
Appoints a water treatment plant operator, trainee. Sorry, Judge.
That's okay.
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 232.
Read all mine.
Reappoint seasonal pump out boat operators. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 233.
Ratifies the transfer of the account clerk typist. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 234.
234 extends the bid contract for general hardware items. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 235.
Awards bid for work clothes. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 236.
Yeah, you're gonna wait a minute.
Yeah, you gotta go with Mike.
170236. Right there.
It'll take us 5 minutes to get there.
Oh, it's
Not if you do
Resolution
Control F,
236,
1702.
ratifies the seasonal clerk to the Recreation Department. So moved.
And second.
Yeah. What did you call that? What was it? What did I type in?
170236.
170236. Moved in second, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 237.
Appoint a recreation specialist to the Recreation Department. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved in second, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 238.
238 ratifies the setting of salaries for 2017 beach managers.
Okay, hold on a second.
Hold on.
Did we get these, are they 2% now? Even though Ray is,
There were,
So I sent you an email this morning.
Look like they're the same.
Resolutions are 2%, but the other two resolutions are going based off the January salary schedule, which he said is where the problem lies.
so all future hires will be 2%.
So, except for the January's, he's still sticking with the January schedule, which is not 2%, he's fixing the two.
The ones
So
we
all
are,
the people
the
that
ones
he
we
gave
are,
3 to, they're still at 3,
Right.
and everybody else is at 2.
right, that's what she, is that what?
January resolution is at 3%. Since
So anybody now hired after that is 2%, that's fine. Okay, yeah, they're different. I saw that email, but I guess I didn't
Well,
understand.
all I wanna know is, I ratify the setting of salaries for 2017 beach manager, senior park attendant for the Recreation Department, so moved. I just read it.
Need a second?
Hold on a second.
So moved. Okay,
Those are different from the.
It says each level beyond level 7 will increase by 2%.
Tell you what, this is just about to get tabled here as soon as I do this math. So,
I can go back to the work session and see what they were.
I'm gonna,
Work session.
equals plus 16.25.
Bill's doing math right now.
Yeah, I mean,
36 cents.
I think the math is 2%, Bill. Where are you?
Right here.
It's 2% between, I mean, he rounded up, but. Right, but they're all, I mean, I did one, I'm gonna do another one.
So you're doing the difference between 1660 and 1690.
I got 50 cents, if you wanna pick up another percent.
2.16.
16.2.
Yeah, that's 2%.
Yeah, that's.
More or less.
Cause 16, it's like 32 cents.
They're 2%, Bill. Are you in agreement with Mike?
I mean, they're all gonna be rounded because when you go
Right.
in rates, if you wanna make it 2%, they're gonna have to be pennies instead of 5 cents.
No, they're all roughly 2% with rounding. Okay, they're 2% with rounding. I don't know what his little thing in the bottom is, but. Go ahead. You moved it.
I
Do you have a second?
that's Jody.
Nobody seconded it?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
No.
Walter.
Yes. Jim, you almost could have swung somebody.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 239.
Ratifies the appointment of a senior park attendant to the Recreation Department. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
And this has been reduced because I think it was at 1725. Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 240.
Public information budget adjustment. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes, and Larry did an excellent job converting us over. Soon we'll be rolling, right?
Wooten.
Yes.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 241.
Authorize removal of fixed assets, fixed asset records from systems. So moved.
A second.
Larry, did we find out where that gun went? Did you find out where that gun went?
Yeah, get turned back in.
To the, okay, got it.
Chief doesn't let anybody leave with their gun.
Okay.
I think, Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter,
Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 242.
It's an order calling public hearing regarding extension to the Riverhead Sewer District to serve Pro Health Care at 896 Old Country Road, Suffolk County Tax Map 600-108-3-24. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter,
Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 243.
Authorizes the supervisor to execute a license agreement with Celtic Quest Incorporated. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter,
Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 244.
Extends bid contract for hauling and disposal of dry cake sludge and grit and screen waste for the Riverhead Sewer District. So moved.
And second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter,
Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 245.
Extends professional service agreement with Vehicle Tracking Solutions for automated vehicle location and monitoring for the Town of Riverhead Highway Department. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter,
Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 246.
Authorizes the supervisor to execute a license agreement with Eastern Bays Company Incorporated to allow for the installation of floating upweller system, FLUPSI, in East Creek. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter,
Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 247.
Authorization to publish advertisement for purchase of one used Elgin Street sweeper model, broom badger, dual steer, or equal for the town highway department. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
So if anybody's selling one of those, let us know.
Got one kicking
Yes.
around.
Here we go.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 248.
Authorizes town clerk to publish and post a notice of public hearing to consider a proposed local law for an amendment of Chapter 289 entitled Vehicles, Traffic, and Parking Regulations of the Riverhead Town Code, Chapter 289-10, Parking Prohibited on Sound Avenue. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes to the hearing.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 249.
Authorize the town clerk to publish and post a public notice of public hearing to consider a proposed local law for an amendment to Chapter 289 Vehicles, Traffic, and Parking Regulations of the River Town Code, 289-6 Turns, Sound Avenue. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes to the hearing.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 250.
You know, if you touch this little square thing right here, stuff pops up.
Takes you back to the home page.
250 adopts a local law to amend Chapter 265 entitled Sewers of the Code of the Town of Riverhead. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 251.
Approves the Chapter 255 application of Animal Rescue Fund of the Hamptons Incorporated Spring Fling Animal Adoption Event on April 29, 2017. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
And that's at Tanger. Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 252.
Hold on a second. Did we, Bob, can you ask Laura Calamita if Rotary submitted the, if we're doing, the Rotary's taking over the flower festival, garden festival sales from the hospital? And I'm just wondering if they submitted a 255 permit. I don't remember what, did the hospital get a Chapter 90 or did they just get a tent permit?
They got one.
90, because they use.
Well, Guess who's probably in default of getting that permit? All right, let's go.
So you want us to send the sheriff and the police out to shut down?
No.
We'll have the fire marshal there.
Ah.
252. Approves Chapter 255, application of East End Arts and Humanities Council Incorporated, the 21st Annual Community Mosaic Street Painting Festival, Sunday, May 28th, 2017. So moved.
And second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes?
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 253.
Approves the Chapter 255 application of Peconic Land Trust, Saturday, June 3rd, 2017. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 254.
Approves the Chapter 255 application of Home Depot Development of Maryland Incorporated for the plants, annuals, and tree
You're
sale,
supposed to get that.
April 17th through May 30th. So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 255.
Ratifies the authorization of the supervisor to execute a fire watch and hold safe and harmless agreement with the Suffolk Theater Sunday, March 26, 2017.
Wow.
So moved.
Like lightning we move.
Ratifying. Well,
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 256.
Authorizes the release of site plan security of Hampton Jitney Incorporated under Jeffrey Lynch. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Lost my place. Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 257.
Authorization to publish advertisements for snack vendors for the town of Riverhead. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 258.
This approves the Chapter 255 application of Sports Car Club of America, New York Region, for a solo driving event. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 259.
Reappoints member to the Architectural Review Board. And we are looking for other members for the Architectural Review Board, so if anybody's interested, please let us know, okay? And, so reappoints member to the Architectural Review Board. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes, as amended.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 260.
Reappoints member to the Architectural Review Board. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
And yes, as amended to bring the term through 2020.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 261.
Awards bid for dry hydrated lime, calcium hydroxide. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 262.
It awards bid for Contract M, Mechanical Maintenance and Emergency Services for the Riverhead Water District. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 263.
Awards bid water distribution leak detection survey contract for the Riverhead Water District. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 264.
A resolution of the Town of Riverhead, Suffolk County, New York, as to secret determination. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Water district, do the water district water line and generators.
Okay. Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 265.
Order call public hearing in the matter of increase and improvement of the Riverhead Water District in the town of Riverhead, Suffolk County, New York. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
This is just calling for the public hearing, right?
Right, for the bond
Yes.
authorization.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy,
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 266.
Heard to ask. 266 is a resolution of the town of Riverhead, Suffolk County, New York, as to the secret determination.
This is the water tank.
Construction of a new groundwater storage tank at plant number 15 on Tuttle's Lane in Riverhead, New York.
Known as the
Second.
Rossini tank. Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
See that?
Wooten.
Tiny print?
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
See that, yes. Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 267.
Order calling public hearing in the matter of the increase and improvement of the facilities of the Riverhead Water District in the town of Riverhead, Suffolk County, New York, construction of a new groundwater storage tank at plant number 15, site on Tuttle's Lane in Riverhead, New York. And just, if we could just amend the word increase to spell it properly in the caption on the first. I'm gonna amend it
Oh,
to
okay, yes,
just
yes.
make a spelling correction. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Yes.
Wooten. Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 268.
This is the resolution for the, to do the pumps. I think we're just doing the pumps right now. We'll do the manholes later. But,
Got the spell check there in the caption.
so if you could move that.
Resolution 268, municipal garage equipment budget adjustment. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes, with correcting the spelling in municipal.
and municipal too.
You
Sorry.
never take a piss.
Wooten,
That's, because that's the end, you're on page.
Yes.
That's the end?
Dunleavy.
You gotta go down.
This one, yes.
Oh, pay the bills.
No, that's not pay the
No,
bills.
we're moving the vote.
You're, they're voting
Yes.
on the, this is the tank,
Oh, that's what we get.
not the
Now
tank,
we
but
pay
the gas pumps. To upgrade the gas
Did you
pumps.
vote yet? You guys-
Yes, I did vote.
You're, okay, that was a yes?
Yes,
Walter.
yes.
Uh,
Yes for him and yes for me.
Okay, resolution adopted. Resolution 269.
Pays the bills.
Pay the bills.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
So I have two resolutions on table, which is awards bid for the annual procurement contract and awards bid for the annual construction contract. Can I get a motion to take resolution 194 and 193 off the table?
I'll so move it.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded as to taking them off the table.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution untabled, 193 and 194.
All right, can we move them? 193.
Awards bid for annual procurement contract. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution 193 is adopted. Resolution 194.
Awards bid for annual construction contract, so moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution 194 is adopted.
Who knew that did everything? It's like a decoration.
Takes you back, don't we?
All right, so,
So, can I just make an announcement that I didn't make before? The Navy is going to be meeting this evening at 5:30 at the Henry Pfeiffer Center to discuss the Grumman property and the cleanup of the plume. They've had success and they have good news for us tonight, so the public is welcome to come to the Henry Pfeiffer Center on River Road in Calverton, and the Navy will be there to discuss their cleanup efforts.
does anybody wish to be,
What time tonight?
5:30. There's two there's two sessions. One is at 5:30, one is at 7. The 5:30 will be to discuss the cleanup and what their approach is going forward, and the 7, I'm sure that they're gonna touch on that also. But it does start at 5:30.
And I won.
sure you going to that?
Is there food? No, I guess.
No.
And I have one.
All right, now we open the public
Wait,
comment.
I have one.
Oh, you have an announcement?
I have an announcement. The IDA, the Industrial Development Agency, is looking for one member. We have one resign.
Did we-
So if anybody wants to be a member, send it to the IDA.
No, send it to us.
Send
Did
it to
Meg
us.
put it on the website? Larry, can you make sure Meg put that on the website, the IDA position? She was supposed to do that.
She's supposed to be, yes. Send it to us.
to Meg Ferris. Yeah, all right, now we open it to public comments for any issue that you'd like to discuss. We ask you to limit your conversations to, or discussions to 5 minutes. 3:06 p.m., go.
Good afternoon. John, quick question. Usually you expand when you vote passionately no or yes. On your no vote, where the rest of the board voted yes, was there a reason you voted no on that resolution?
Yes, I voted no because the salaries are not proportionate with other salaries that we have for seasonal workers or part-time workers that have more dangerous jobs than they do.
Okay.
It's just not proportionately. They're making almost as much money as those other people working, and I don't think it's fair.
Good.
All right.
Second question. When the town prepared the 2017 budget, did it calculate its retirement contribution on the 17% that was what the state was required, or on the 11% that it turned out to be?
17%, right, Bill?
Yep.
Yeah, because that number comes out as the state, in their infinite wisdom, that number
Okay.
comes out after.
That's good news. What are you planning on doing with the 6%, which I think would probably be $2-3 million?
No, I wish.
What's the payroll?
We could get that number for you.
Ballpark, it's not 40 or 50 million?
If you give us a second, it depends.
Probably about 30.
We'll get you the number. I don't want to give a number like that out at this point.
That's conservative. 30 million, 6%, it's 1.8 million.
I'm not going to give the number out.
Okay, whatever
without
the, let's
doing
put,
calculation.
whatever the number is, what do you plan on doing with that money?
The number, whatever the number is, if there's surplus at the end of the year, it goes into fund balance, which we haven't, or if there's lines that get overspent, they move the money around to cover the lines, but if it's surplus, it goes into fund balance.
So then, hopefully, it's surplus, which would mean hopefully next year that there wouldn't be any tax increase.
That's
Or
hopeful.
you would be, you'd be able to stay within the cap.
Yeah, that's, of course, exactly.
Okay.
But you wouldn't pull it out of fund balance to stay within the cap. That's how the town got in trouble. So the town needs to start growing its fund balance. So that money, if it goes into fund balance, we'll leave it in fund balance. We won't use it to balance a budget. It's not the number you're thinking of.
Okay.
But we'll get it to you.
Yeah, well, it sounded like it would be a significant.
No, it's not the number. Because Bill can, you're not gonna get it
Okay.
today, but we can get the number.
Next meeting, I'll ask you.
But when we have settlements that were unexpected, like if we get a settlement this year and we have a certain amount that we're supposed to pay to the insurance company, $175,000, then we might be in a better position to settle that litigation right now or continue. So we have you would see those budget transfers.
Right.
Because it's already been budgeted for, so if it's not spent, which we have always underspent our budgets, then it goes back into the fund balance.
I think all but 1 year we underspent the budget. But just for you, I mean, the transfer we did today for $50,000 was not a budgeted for item. And the fuel pumps failed. And so now we're upgrading there's 2 fuel banks. We're upgrading one this year, one the next year. So things like that happen during the year. So that may be something that we would have to back.
No, that makes perfect sense. The Illuminati potential purchase, because I know you're reading the paper, there was going to be a grand announcement. Just a little clarification, because I'm totally confused. If this sale goes through, are they purchasing the 50-lot subdivision that the town's been working on, plus, or just that subdivision?
The only developable property is the 600 acres.
Okay.
The remaining property between the wetlands, the tiger salamanders, the pine barrens act, the rest of the property is not developable, and the DEC was requiring a covenant on it. So they're buying the 600 acres plus the 2 runways. The interesting part about it is we don't know, we've got to vet them, and that's part of the qualified and eligible sponsors hearing. But the interesting part is that when we were doing the 50-lot subdivision, we have been stuck at the DEC for probably 2 years on the issue of the takings permit. We have to come up with a wildlife management plan that a minimum is going to cost the residents $100,000 a year. So in selling off the undevelopable land, that $100,000 a year management plan, if the DEC requires Illuminati to do it, which, you know, we don't know why they wouldn't, they're making us do it, the taxpayers would have to front that, pay that. So the interesting part is you're selling undevelopable land. In some fashion, it goes on the tax rolls, because even if it's undevelopable, it's still taxable, and you lose $100,000 a year in liabilities. And then the other side of the coin is, we have not really addressed this. At some point, the town has to pave the one active runway. And Ken Testa, last year, before he left, he didn't give me an exact number, but several $1 million to pave that one runway. So it's sort of a huge burden lifted off the taxpayers, but there's only 600 developable acres there.
Okay, final question in regards to that. If this thing comes to fruition and is successful, the number that the papers have been throwing around 45 million, is that accurate? 40 million.
40 million, no contingencies.
Okay.
We've had, I'm going to say 3 offers. They all ranged in the 40 to 45 million. The Suffolk Industrial was 45 million, but it was a 3-year closing with multiple contingencies. And unfortunately, Suffolk Industrial kind of just stopped corresponding with our attorneys about 12 weeks ago. So they're all in the same range, and they've all been, I mean, it's publicly on the market, so that's the number. That's what it's worth.
Comes up to, I think, about 67,000 an acre for the developable property.
Yeah. Have you folks given any thought, and again, this is very positive, if you close and you get the 40 million, what you'll do with the money?
Oh yeah, the money, I'm going to put the money.
Give me a check.
In a high interest bank account.
What's gonna happen is I'm going to talk to the board, and I think the board's in complete agreement. That money is gonna go in a debt service account to pay the landfill debt. My hope is to roll back the 2 tax increases that were above the tax cap, and then put money into the reserve fund. So there's nobody that's going to go out there and spend this money. It's unfortunate because the landfill debt from years ago is so high that just the sale of this just puts us to zero.
Yeah, I know.
The sale of this puts us to where we were before Supervisor Cardinale excavated the landfill. It's kind of a sad situation, but that's what it is.
We pay over $3 million a year for that landfill debt.
Yeah.
But that's coming down by 767,000.
That's the good news. It pains me to say this, but
That was this year.
I would think maybe you might want to consider, because I'm usually very frugal and don't spend any money, but that armory sitting there, maybe you could take some of that money and finally redo the armory, move your police out, because that would be money you would have to eventually borrow anyway to redo that building.
We got some, we're looking.
There's infrastructure for the town.
Yeah.
Has to be taken care of. We got roofs leaking and buildings falling apart.
Good. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to be heard? Good night, Harriet.
Good night.
Good night, Warren.
Good night, thank you.
Bye, thank you. Laura Jen Smith again from Laurel. I didn't realize that this letter of intent was for EPCAL over there, so I do just have a couple questions.
You're running for supervisor. Why wouldn't you realize that?
Well, because you didn't write EPCAL, you just wrote signed letter of intent. So, but anyhow, regardless.
But the letter of intent is in the package.
I don't have the package. That's why I didn't see it in there.
It's online.
My question is, because Illuminati was an existing tenant, how does that work with Cushman and Wakefield as far as their commission?
They're still entitled to the commission.
Full commission
Yeah.
for an existing tenant.
The tenancy has nothing to do with it. The brokerage, they brought about the sale while they were under contract with the town. It's no different.
So there was
than
no
if-
clause in there for it was an existing
There
tenant or
were
anything?
no broker would do that. There's clauses for people that we knew that we were negotiating before Cushman Wakefield was on board. It's standard with any real estate contract. So if you knew there were people, and there were periods, the exclusionary period wasn't forever. In other words, you couldn't come in and have somebody, all right, we're gonna put 20 people on this list, and then 3 years from now, the same 20 people are on the list. There's a period of time, and if that doesn't come to fruition, and they did come in, and the broker brought about the deal, they would be entitled to the commission. So it's not based on whether they're tenants or not.
Okay, and then my other question as far as the amount that they're putting down, I guess it's $500,000 they're putting down with the letter of intent, is that correct?
$500,000 with the letter of intent. We have 30 days to, we're gonna negotiate a contract within 30 days. And then there's a total of 90 days for due diligence. So when we sign the letter of intent, they have to give us the $500,000. And if they decide to go forward, the $500,000, they put another $500,000 in, so it's $1 million contract deposit. That was actually the same number across all three deals that we spoke about, $1 million. If they go beyond the 90-day, if they go to 91 days, the $500,000 is hard, and the town's entitled to the money.
Okay, and then my other question is, I know you had mentioned extensions, so I'm curious what the extensions available would be. Is
What
that what,
extensions?
do they have, when you were talking the other day, you said extensions, or is that once the contract's
There's
signed?
no extension. If the money, if at 90, on the 91st day, if they want an extension of the due diligence period, that $500,000 is hard money, goes to the town, it's non-refundable.
Right.
If they close, it goes towards the purchase price.
Right, but if they don't close and exercise their extension, what is the?
There's no extensions.
So there is no, at the end of
There's no extensions. If they ask for an extension,
Correct.
then they have to pay $500,000 for it. But
So an
there's-
additional $500,000 on top of the million that they've put down?
No.
No.
The $500,000 that's in the reserve fund
Right.
goes, not the reserve, in the escrow account comes to us.
Correct.
Then they have to put another $500,000 down, but that $500,000 that comes to us is our money, non-refundable to them.
If they go to 91 days.
If they go to
If
91
they ask
days.
for an extension, we didn't put extensions in the contract. If
Okay.
they ask for it, they're gonna pay for it.
And how long is that extension allowed for?
That would be negotiated
That's
if they asked for it.
Okay, so there's nothing in place. I know some of the contracts had like 5 extensions, 3 months, things like that.
We're not interested in any extensions. We're
Okay.
interested, we're interested, if this is real, the town residents are gonna know in 90 days.
Okay.
If it's not real, or there have been 90 days when I sign it, if it's not real, then we're gonna move to the next purchaser. It's the same, this property has been a difficult property for every town board and every town supervisor since Jimmy Stark. Well, he didn't really have it, but it was part of Jimmy Stark's beginning of his legacy. And much like Suffolk Industrial, that was not able to move forward with this, we don't wanna wait, long periods of time. Suffolk Industrial started in, I guess, September, October, and, by early this year, they were pretty much out of the game. Illuminati, if they don't move forward in the 90 days, the town can make a decision that you're out of the game, and, we'll keep the property on the market.
And we'll keep
But
the money.
for
Okay,
the-
yep, no, that's what I'm curious, if there was, because I know the other day they had mentioned about extension, so I was just kind of curious what those, if there was
they-
terms for the extensions.
During the 90 days, they can get out and get their $500,000 back. They can. It's not hard money unless
Right.
they ask for an extension, but there's no.
There's no plan to give extensions.
There's no plan to give extensions, and nor do they want it. They say they want to move very quickly.
If the supervisor signs the letter of intent today, we should know in the beginning of August, middle of August, as to whether or not they're going forth with the closing. And
That's
then
what I'm
that
curious.
closing would happen quickly, because
That's-
it's all cash.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious with. And my other question is just for confirmation, they do pay the 2% CPF fund?
Yes, we did research that. They pay the 2%, but I also think we may wind up paying the New York State transfer tax. Pretty sure we pay that. We're gonna take a look at that, but I'm pretty sure we pay the New York State transfer, and they will pay the CPF.
Okay, thank you.
That's a nice little bit of money to us.
Thank you.
And incidentally, the taxes, you should know this, we believe the taxes on the raw land will be about $1.6 million. It's a difficult thing to assess, and
That's why we have 3 assessors.
30%. Well, it's a difficult thing to assess because you've got the 600 acres that are the only developable parcels. You have the runways that are needing tremendous repairs, and then you have fallow land, if you will. So it's going to be, in conversations with Laverne, I think you're going to be in, say, $1.5 million range, and 30% of that comes to the town of Riverhead. So the school district's going to be very happy as well.
And it will be the town putting the covenant on the additional 1,700 acres, or you're looking to have, hopefully the DEC will?
We're gonna do that.
You're gonna put the
depends.
covenant on? Okay, that's what I'm curious.
Which covenant?
On the other anything outside of the 600 buildable acres?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the DEC.
It'll be us.
But you can put it on there
It'll
also,
be-
correct?
Well, it'll be us, because we own the property, but we believe
That'll be part of the
that's gonna be a
contract, that's what I'm,
condition.
that would be part of the contract through the town.
We believe that's going to be a condition from the DEC. That's what the DEC has told us.
But it's something the town also wishes to do?
I think so. I
Yeah,
think that the preserved areas, absolutely, should be covenanted, because there should
agree with you.
be an opportunity at a later
Okay,
date to.
you guys are getting way ahead of yourselves, because this contract is not our subdivision. So, these are things that we are going to negotiate in the next 30 days, and these are conversations that we're having with the DEC.
And then one other question, in the current zoning, the PD zoning, you do have the housing. Well, and I know that you have said, Illuminati has said they don't want housing, and you also have said they don't have housing. Will you take out the supportive use number 1? Because say if Illuminati does somehow not make it, and so you're looking to take that supportive use out of the zoning?
Well, at this point, our focus is trying to get that 90-day contract due diligence, get through the 30-day contract negotiations and the 90-day due diligence period, and get to a qualified and eligible sponsor hearing. And after that, the town board will make a decision as to whether they change the zoning or not. But at this point, our focus is on trying to get this thing to closing.
I think that's a big issue. The developer would want to know what they're purchasing, if they
He's
can zone
basically-
housing or not.
I think if we change the zoning, we're opening ourselves
Yeah,
up for a
he's-
lawsuit.
Well, you haven't done anything yet, so that's why I'm curious why you would
What do you
wait.
mean
if
we
that
haven't
was
done
the-
anything? The zoning's
No,
on the
no, but
property.
the zoning is in place, but if you're saying there's gonna be no housing, if you can change the zoning so that it would have no housing, not
As
allow
I said,
housing.
Our focus is during the 90-day due diligence period to get them across the finish line.
Okay, I
And what
understand what you're saying.
happens after that, if they don't want housing or they want it removed from the zoning and the board decides to do it, the board can always do that.
It's a special permit anyway.
Perhaps you get elected next year and you could do it.
And the housing is by special permit, and it has to be accessory too.
Right, it's supportive use number 1 for the residential housing, that's what I'm asking, and
I
that's
didn't
what's
vote for
allowed.
residential.
I know.
You guys keep talking about resident, okay. it's-
They're all residential.
If it's a person living in a house, it's residential. Unless it's somebody who's not a resident or not a person living in a home, it's residential housing.
Laura?
So, thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to be heard on this? Not seeing anybody.
I make a motion, we close the town board meeting. So moved.
Seconded, moved and seconded, vote please. All in favor, aye, opposed, abstention, motion carries, we're adjourned.
Which one? 50 resolutions.